Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we officially got a fully detailed look at Verdansk via a brand new intel drop, talking about how they actually went through and rebuilt the entirety of Verdansk for Black Ops 6 Warzone this year. So it's about a 2-minute long video detailing some interviews with the actual devs, BO6, who was in charge, I guess, of going through and recreating Verdansk here. I want to go through initially, just listen to what they have to say, react, then we'll go through and sort of, overanalyze everything that shows on screen so we can look at various different POIs and everything. Obviously, we've seen the TAC maps, we've seen various different images and snippets of Verdansk up until this point, but we've never seen the actual map itself in gameplay or in a cinematic view like this. So probably gonna have a lot to pick apart from this 2-minute video here, but let's go through, give it a listen, and see what's up. Verdansk is
rebuilt
back
from the ground up to recapture the original battle royale experience, but now it has stunning new textures, improved visuals,
better visuals, no rose skins blending in everywhere, maybe
a more immersive play space. Every building, every road, every detail has been carefully refined to create the most incredible Warzone experience.
Everything has been rebuilt. Intel drops pre-order now.
When we started our journey to bring back Verdansk, we really wanted to keep this nostalgic feeling while also upgrading it with new technology.
Kind of the best of both worlds.
That allow us better quality, better rendering.
The grass, the bushes, the trees. It's way more complex now than what we've seen in the past. To allow that in the whole map, covering area with high grass.
It's hard to tell just on the trailer itself, the visuals,
is
compared to before at least. A new tech. So it's just upgraded Verdansk entirely.
To achieve a more realistic effect while preserving the nostalgic feel.
That's big.
It includes a new high-resolution sky.
It improved the bounces, the reflections, improved light map quality and accuracy, and a better transition between interior and exteriors.
So the sun won't have to get nerfed this time.
Do a lot
maybe
more with the depth, backlighting, and shadows through the map.
For example, the prison, it's a bit gloomy, but the new tech helps us balance to have this creepy vibe, to still have visibility. The materials
That's
are
good.
Newer,
That's good
so
news.
They react better with lighting, and the reflections are better. So everything just feels more grounded, more natural.
The recreation of Verdansk has been a collaboration.
We're at the pause on that screenshot when we go back through.
Studios, with each team sparing no detail to ensure this experience is faithful to Infinity Ward's original design. It's the iconic Verdansk map you remember, brought to life with more detail, higher definitions, with the best technology available today to ensure it's better than ever. Grab your friends and get ready to drop back in.
Verdansk returns April 3rd. Okay, so initially, just the takeaways from their description here. Like I said, I want to go through and really look at things in a more frame-by-frame area to just see the actual map rather than hear their full breakdown, since we just went through and we have that now. But I just going through this initially here on my first watch, main takeaways being that a lot of the concerns, I guess, with the Verdansk visuals, layout, graphics that we used to have back in the day, particularly with lighting being a really big thing. There were times back on OG Verdansk where we did have to nerf the sun. There were major complaints about how if you looked towards the sun, you couldn't see anything on your screen, and so they had to dim down the lighting for that and dim down the glare for that. It was a huge thing back in the day. Obviously, as I sort of jokingly alluded to there, the rose skin and other skins blending into areas of the map where if it was a dark corner or the lighting inside of a building, we heard them reference the prison, for instance. It's still dark and gloomy inside, but the lighting's been updated so that you're not going to have issues spotting enemies and the visibility is not going to be too bad. I think ultimately that is fantastic news across the board. You know, a lot of those main complaints with just the visuals, obviously, not so much focused on the true gameplay of Verdansk yet. Perhaps we see those reveals and announcements in the coming days. And obviously, it's going to be a very, very big week for announcements in general, not just with Verdansk, but also with Season 3 as a whole. So weapons, battle pass, operators, full-on roadmap across multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, all that is to come. This is the best place to be to stay up to date with absolutely everything going on. So if you want to make sure you're always in the know, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoy this video, as we go through, we actually look at some of the classic POIs and the actual Verdansk map itself. Be sure to drop a like. It's always seriously appreciated. Let's go through. Let's watch this at 50% speed here and just look at the general map itself. Right away on this first one, I mean, we get a lot of overview of the downtown area, so we can still see it's those classic downtown buildings. Not much has been changed, it looks like, at least based off of this, for the actual buildings themselves. We still have the original broken down one up in the middle here. We got the B or D flag, whatever it is, for domination on the ground war map here. A couple of the TV buildings, then the further taller one out in the back. Obviously, stadium roof, now we have it fully guaranteed. It's been one of the main talking points and main leaks is fully intact there. We'll have to see if we get some other views of the stadium. We've got the hospital area here. Visually, it definitely does look a bit more pretty, but let's go through and actually see the frame by frame of the different POIs. This is the coast, obviously. The water here previously was out of bounds and completely untouchable, based again off the leaks. We'll be able to actually swim in this water if you're not completely out of bounds. It might be like a limited timer, 10 seconds you have to get in and out of this water before the out of the bounds force kills you. If that's the case, you know, you're still gonna be able to utilize that water to a slight extent rather than it just being a complete insta death, right? So that's a bit interesting there. Obviously not much change to the overall environment here. Maybe there's some differences in the trees and whatnot, like the park area with the monuments and everything, but overall nothing too crazy, at least based off of this screenshot here. Obviously we've got the prison in the top right. The dam, again, just another confirmation here. The water is still frozen over. All the water at the bottom is as well. So nothing, at least as of now, for any water mechanics changing with this. Who knows? Maybe they do some seasonal updates and this water does melt over time and swimming is a thing. We'll have to see how that plays out into season 4, 5, 6, so on and so forth, right? But they also mentioned rebuilt from the ground up. So everything on Verdansk, yes, it's the same layout here inside the TV station, for instance. Everything's the same layout at the airport, but it's all rebuilt for this engine, for this gameplay. The water obviously being a focus there. You got the hills POI again. Everything seemingly looks the same, just with updated visuals, updated graphics, which should be fantastic news. I mean, even just, we can go back a few seconds there. I'll move my face cam, but like where there's shadows up here because of the trees and whatnot, if there was a rose skin hiding up there, might have been more difficult to see before. That won't necessarily be the case now, which I think is definitely good news. Obviously, we're going to have to see what it's like in execution and in actual gameplay, but just based off their description here, I would personally be expecting much better visual clarity across the board. You get a nice look at downtown. Again, nothing too crazy in terms of visual differences that I can spot right away in terms of any buildings or anything like that. I don't see an initial zip line on the building here that's got the fire coming out of it. Oh no, it is up at the top there. There's the yellow ascender is at the very top. It looked like there, just barely. Obviously it's going to be a big deal having those or not in certain elements of gameplay. We got the airport here. Again, we'll go through the intel drop little cutscene here and some of the devs talking. Get over to the dam yet again. Once more, no water, just frozen over. The train station initially, oh, they're cutting off the doorway there because previously you could go through and I believe walk up those with the staircases inside. One of the leaks is that the interior of the train station is closed off, so we'll have to see if we get any specific views here. Can we see any doorways or anything? It's probably too difficult to see in this little walkway to see if we can actually access anything there. We'll have to see. That might be a gameplay thing. Up top here, I'm not seeing any doors on these initial like AC unit sort of staircase buildings. We'll have to see if we get some more views through here, see if we can get anything off of that. Again, just more dev talk again. We got some more hillsides, not really super specific. That sun is very bright there. That's definitely not a sun that's going to help out with the glare there based off the cinematics. Another view of train station. Maybe there is a door right here on my mouse. Wait, the top of the train station, it's glass right there. Huh, I wonder if that leak has changed. Also, there are doors down here. Yeah, okay, so we do have it confirmed now. There are doors here. I wonder if we're gonna, I mean, they could just be closed and locked. Maybe you can't drop through this if the interior of the train station's not fully updated. But I mean, the leak said that we weren't going to be able to access this. Based on this trailer, it does look like we could be able to get in there. So curious on that. Again, we might get some more screenshots here. I was more so paying attention to what the devs were saying throughout this rather than the screenshots themselves. Little tiny bit of water in these riverbeds, but definitely not enough to actually go through and be able to swim in, obviously. So not much concern there for any water mechanics yet again. Obviously, a lot of the map changes too. You get some more fields, you get some snowy areas here, like on the river and the lakes up here towards the dam, which is interesting. The walkways, of course. Any ascenders on these buildings? It looks like nothing initially that stands out to me. Could be on the other side of the building though, for what it's worth as well. Then we get the stadium, where we absolutely do have an ascender here. Hard to tell based on the interior if these are just doors we can straight up walk into and explore the bottom interior of the stadium, but right away, I mean, that's one ascender going straight up to the roof of the stadium, which does seem to be redesigned. There's actually a bit of cover here. These like bars that come out from the roof of stadium are a bit different, at least based on my recollection, so that's a bit interesting there as well. The roof of the stadium won't be as perilous necessarily because you're just wide in the open with no cover there. Again, a little tiny bit of water in the riverbeds there, but nothing too crazy. We do have, it looks like a zip line maybe sticking off the edge of this building in downtown, which I think was also on the original Verdansk as well. So another entry point, access point there. This is obviously over in Scrapyard with the full-on remake of it, of course. Looks just like it does in MW2 and then even in MW3. We've got the ATC towers still up there and gonna be as annoying as can be when you're running through the airport area and the surrounding areas. Zip lines, just based off of this view, are not super clear, but we are gonna have that interior elevator, which we should be able to zip line up as well from that. We don't get any exact looks here from the interior of the ATC quite yet either. We get the roof of the airport obviously torn up a little bit, more prison POVs as well there. For the most part, it really does look like it's a lot of one-to-one recreations. The prison showers for the gulag, potentially. The interior of the prison, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, based off my initial recollection, it does seem brighter than it was before, which ultimately is a good thing. And that's where they're sort of making this talking point of these dark and gloomy areas are still gonna have that sort of vibe to them, but the lighting, the visibility is gonna be much more clear, which I think is gonna be good in the long run, not having to deal with the skins that blend into the environment. And then you're like, I died, but I never saw who was actually shooting at me at any point during any of that, right? Which obviously was a big complaint. They had the exterior of the prison showers where you could come in from the bottom there. We got the interior of the airport still looking the same with the different barricades and everything. We get a full, this is what I wanted to pause on before, a really big top-down view of Verdansk here. So we see a lot of the promenade area where we have obviously the Ferris wheel and everything, the downtown buildings as well. Prison off in the distance. We've got the stadium roof fully enclosed there. So just a nice little general layout of Verdansk. Again, it really does look like it's a lot of one-to-one. We do get a look at stadium here. Can we see any entrance points? Maybe it'll shift again to the side there in a few clips here, but didn't initially see any doors off of that particular spot. We get a little bit of gameplay there on the right. Nothing too crazy though. Not enough to actually fully dissect anything. And again here, gameplay, but it's a little bit blurry. I think that guy just tried to dolphin dive up onto that ledge and then he just stuck on the ledge there. You do see the bushes, the grass, the trees. They did make a talking point about that, I guess, saying, hey, this is going to be more clear, more sharp, I guess you could say. Visibility is going to be better across the board, which, as I've said several times, I view as good news here. Any ascenders back on that little part of prison? We'll rewind just a little bit here. Any ascenders on the outside? There should be, yep, one right here on this little, scaffolding that reaches out just like in original Verdansk. So I think based off of most of what we've seen, a lot of the ascenders and zip lines and things of that nature are all in their original spots. I haven't necessarily noticed any brand new ones. Again, trying to scan a lot of these downtown buildings, not necessarily seeing anything super different from before. So if you just want to play the classic Verdansk, but it's better visually, it's, the lighting is better, the fidelity is better. We got a zip line on both sides. Again, I think those both existed previously on this middle building here in downtown. This should be good news outright. Verdansk returns April 3rd. So, hey, a fully detailed look at Verdansk. And again, like I said, this is just the beginning for reveals this week, I'd have to imagine. Roadmaps, blogs, more details, anti-cheat updates. Lots to come in the next few days. So stay tuned for all of that. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.